to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
It's time for Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, and your host of the shows, Mark and Mary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mary.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Isn't it a beautiful day?
It is. It is a beautiful day in the Ozarks.
It
as
is.
we always say.
I didn't even have to wear a coat today.
Wow, I didn't either. Sun shining, and it's just a beautiful morning out there.
It is. Absolutely gorgeous. A little windy, but that's okay. The sun's shining.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice day to get out and just enjoy the outdoors. We're not going to have too many more of these days where you can get out and just take a walk. Just whatever. Just get out of the house, out of the office.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Breathe some fresh air.
Yeah. If you get a lunch break wherever you work, go out, take a walk around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That's right.
This is my lunch break. I won't get a lunch break today. I have to go right back to the office and work the
You gotta
rest
work
of the
today?
day.
Well, I know a lot of
I
times you
do.
get to take off on Fridays
do.
after the show, and
Not
doggone,
today.
that's just not fair.
Well, that's just how life is
That
sometimes.
is.
But that's okay. Most of the time, it's not like this, so I can handle it for today.
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah.
Every now and then, it's all right.
It's all right. That's true. That is
I'm
true.
surprised they leave me there to handle everything.
Oh, hey, I'd say you do a pretty good job holding down the fort there.
Oh yeah, I get by with it all right. It's pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
And today we haven't had a whole lot of calls. We were super busy earlier in the week, but I think maybe people are just out enjoying the weather today. Maybe golfing or boating or fishing or
Well,
a lot of people are hunting. My
Yeah.
husband's bird hunting, so he's doing that.
Yeah, and deer season, of course,
Deer
starts
season.
this weekend. So I know a lot of guys. I've seen tons of little campers and stuff heading out this morning. So I know guys are heading to the deer woods, and
Yep.
and so it's going to be a big weekend for that. I think that's a lot of things going on like that. It's just I went to St. Louis yesterday, and all of the beautiful drive up and back, and seeing a lot of people preparing for the hunting season.
Yeah, there's a group of friends of ours, and they used to not so much anymore, but for several years they would all go to set up a deer camp and hang out for the weekend, and so all of us girls referred to this as Deer Camp Widow Weekend.
Well, yep, that's right.
Because we were left at home with the kids, and all the guys were in the
All
woods.
the guys are in the woods. Yeah, yeah. And the deer population is pretty hefty in the state, from what I've been told.
It is.
And so I hope the guys and gals out there hunting are really successful, because, excuse me, the people that say, "Oh, you can't kill one of those," blah blah blah, don't realize how the population needs to be thinned out.
They do.
Because of the disease and everything else, So
And then you have diseased deer running around.
that's right, and we don't want that. So it is a good thing. I mean, that we do thin the deer population out. My golly, right here in Springfield, it's nothing to see a deer walking through your backyard
In town,
nowadays,
yeah.
In town, and so good luck to all the men and women who are going out in the woods to hunt. And hey, nowadays it's a lot of people like venison or deer meat, and I'm not one of them that's a big fan of it. I can eat it if it's cooked right, but there's a lot of people that do. So it's
Well, and you know what I heard coming in this morning, and I didn't hear the whole advertisement, but if you like to hunt but you don't particularly like to eat the meat, you can donate that.
Yes.
So I need to find out more about that because I know that there's certain slaughter plants and stuff around that are certified to take meat and process it for donations and stuff like that. So, if you want to go hunt it and if you like to do that and it's a sport for you, but you don't want to eat it, there are ways to donate that to help people that do eat it.
And I actually seen on the on one of the news channels here locally, some places is taking the hides, and you can donate the hides, and I forget how many they're looking to get, like 2,500 hides. And they take them and they make gloves and different things out of them,
Yeah.
and stuff, and so it's a really neat deal. So, and I can't remember who it was, but it was on one of the local news channels. So,
Well, I
be
hadn't
something
heard
to check
that,
out.
but yeah, it's something we probably need to work on that for next weekend or something.
Yeah,
next
there
week.
you go.
We'll
see
do
if we
that.
can, see if we can find that out. So, but as of right now, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. And we're
is.
here every Friday morning from 10 to 11 on AM 560 KWTO to answer all your questions, whatever you may have going on around the house, or talk about whatever you want to talk about. We are here to do it. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. So give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. And we do have a special guest on the show today.
We do, and I think everyone's going to be really excited to. We had him on last year. It was a little later, so I wanted to get him on a little earlier this year. But we have Clay Frisbee here with Holiday Decor. So welcome back to the show, Clay.
Hello, thanks for having me come back.
Absolutely. We had you come back because you can really help people out. Some people are getting into the holiday season. They're looking forward to Christmas and different things with their family, and you can help them do that by decorating.
Yeah, we do outdoor Christmas lights on homes and businesses all throughout Springfield area.
And you, before the show, you said you've already started that. People are already starting to put things up. You've been doing that for about a month already.
We've already been doing it a month. We started the first part of October because we do so much business that we have to start early to get it all done before the weather gets bad, and everybody wants it done before Thanksgiving. And if we did it all the week before Thanksgiving, we just couldn't get much done.
Sure. And Thanksgiving's gonna be here pretty soon.
Wow.
So if you want your lights up before Thanksgiving, you probably need to be thinking about that if you want someone to do that for you. And I would just suggest that you would call Clay to do that. Because
Absolutely.
You've done this for how many years now, Clay?
We've done it for 14 years. We've
14
been doing
years.
It. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so kind of tell the folks how this works. Do they have to provide the lights? Do you provide the lights? Do you do a plan? What someone says, I've never done this before. I would like to. Maybe someone has a new home and they want to have it decorated for the holidays and they give you a call. What do you do once someone gives you a call? How does the process work?
Well, originally when I started the business, we had kind of looked like what different people were doing and what people wanted. And I felt what people really want is they want the service. They're not really looking to necessarily buy ornaments or lights, but really what they want is just to have their home decorated and a turnkey service, but they don't have to do anything. And so what we do is we provide all of the lights, the cords, materials, timers. We put them all up. We ask people what they like to do. I write out a map, and then when they agree to that, I put up everything that they would like to see on their home, and then during the season we service it. They call us if they have lights out or problems with their timers or different issues like that. And then at the end of the season in January, we take it all down, box it all up, and then we store it, and then I keep the information. They call the next year and want to do the same thing. I come back out, and we already have it all laid out what we're going to do, or if they want to change it, I come back out and look at that. And so we provide the service, and then we provide the materials as part of the service.
That sounds like a great way to decorate.
Man, I tell you.
Especially outside.
You know, I have to think about this every year because this was just really stupid what I did. And I know I'm not the only one out there that does this kind of stuff. But, you know, I waited one time, and I was up on a ladder trying to put lights on my house, and it was sleeting and freezing rain, and the sleet was hitting me in the face so hard I couldn't even see. And here I am up on a ladder putting lights up, and I think, how stupid is this? But I did it, you know.
You probably were more like the Grinch instead of the Santa that day, huh?
Yeah, I was. But if I would have just known about clay then, hey, my problem would have been solved.
Absolutely. And it probably would have been done maybe a little more professionally than you did it. I'm just guessing.
So. And my ladder, you know, we as guys do stupid things sometimes. You know, my ladder wasn't quite tall enough to reach up there. So, you know, I'm up on the top and I'm reaching and stretching and it's sleeting and it's like, you know, this is not very smart.
This is fun, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And the wife is going, I don't care what it's doing. I want lights on
I
my
want
house.
lights up. And that was the whole deal. She's like, I want lights up this weekend. I don't care, you know. And so, yeah. So don't do that.
Exactly. Don't do that. Call Clay. You know, and I haven't bought outside lights for quite a while, but it can be pretty costly just to buy the lights. And and I know that this has had to happen to other people, but I have went and bought lights, brought them home. Part of them don't work, or none of them work, or you have some issue with them. Okay, now you're boxing back up. You're going back to the store. What an aggravation, and a lot of time. And it's just, Christmas should be a happy time, not an aggravating time. So, I think it's a great idea that you can call a professional like Clay here with Holiday Decor, tell him what you want to do, have him map it all out for you. I know that Bonnie Bell here in the station uses you to do her lights. She talked to you just a little while ago, as a matter of fact, said she needed to call you. As a matter of fact, that's how I got to learn about you, is she said, oh, I have this guy. He does a great job. He comes out, does my decorating, puts my lights up. It's wonderful. I just call and say, this is what I want. He does it. When holiday's over, he comes and takes them all down. They're gone. It makes it really easy, and then she can focus on what she wants to do inside the house and the cooking and whatever else she has going on inside the house. So, I love to decorate. I love to decorate the inside. I do that myself, but I don't do the outside.
Right.
It's just not fun for me. And a lot of times, like you said, it can be really cold. The weather can just be terrible.
Yeah.
And so that's not something that I don't even want to walk the dog when it's cold, much less try and string lights or help my husband string lights. He will do it, but sometimes I go out there to help him because they get all tangled up and it's just a big mess. So
we've all, I'm sure, seen my favorite Christmas movie. Of course, is Christmas Vacation. And he pulls that big old ball of lights out that's all tangled up and stuff. Can you just imagine? But one question I have is, as I know used to on some of the lights, if one bulb was out, none of them would work. Stuff, is that still the case, or have they improved the lighting?
It depends on what type of lights you're using. Like, some have parallel circuitry, and some have different. Like, the bigger bulbs that we use aren't made that way. When one bulb goes, it's just one bulb. When we use the mini lights, they have that type of circuitry. When one section goes out, then the other section goes out, and that is a big headache. And that's another reason we use our own lights, is because if we inherit the customer's lights, first of all, we have to go through them and check them during the busy season, and normally I find about 50% of it's gone bad, or it requires more work than is worth fixing them.
Right.
And you always kind of got to make that decision. And with mini lights, you run into that problem. It's a real headache, and I got guys that are pretty well trained at that, and they start back in May. We start going through our own lights.
Wow.
To get them ready for the season, and we end up getting about a big dumpster full of Christmas lights that we turn back in for copper, and then we have new lights. So it's an ongoing process with that type of lighting. Probably the biggest headache I think that most homeowners have is that they plug their lights and part of them don't work, and like, how do I fix it? And those type of issues come up all the time that I hear from homeowners. Or knowing how to use the power is a big issue, because they'll have like, I hooked them up last year, and one section went out, or the whole section went out. I really don't understand why. And there's simple rules with using electricity and the way the Christmas lights are set up that can be avoided. And sometimes people don't know.
And that's something else is, you don't want to. I mean, you have to be careful how much you put on a cord and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's got to be a few rules and regulations. You can't just keep stringing. You better know what you're doing. You just keep hooking, cords together, then you might be having electrical issue other places, because you've got to know your panel box. You've got to know what your capability is, and I wouldn't. People just put and you turn a lot of stuff on. Like I have lights on the tree. I have other things that are lighted in the house. I have all kinds of stuff, and then you do lights outside. You can end up putting quite a load if you don't understand the circuitry and how that's all going, and you might end up blowing something in your power box that you don't want to.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
So, that's what I thought. And so now you've got another issue. So, you could end up costing yourself quite a bit of money trying to be a do-it-yourselfer with Christmas lights, because we've had all kinds of messes with those things, and I get frustrated if they're not working right. I get annoyed, and I just throw them in the trash and go get new ones, and that can be very expensive after a while.
They've gone up a lot in the last year because copper prices have.
That's right.
Yeah.
Copper is very expensive.
I've noticed quite quite an increase just in the last 2 years. They've gone up considerably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too.
And you got your extension cords. People don't think about those. Those cost money. And if you put a timer on it, which we try to put a timer on everything so you don't have to go outside and plug it in, unplug it every night. You just plug it in and leave it and let it go, and it comes on and burns for 5 hours.
And that's probably better for them too. Just leave them plugged in and then plug and unplug them all the time. And then you have that cord. If you're outside and then you have the elements and it's raining and you have this cord just hanging there and it's wet, and then you plug it in. I mean, I always wondered about that. You see that a lot. People go out and unplug them, and no matter what the weather is, and then they decide to turn back on, they plug them back in. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah, that's true. I particularly am not fond of handling electricity in the rain.
No, probably not the best idea.
No, I'd say not. More than likely. Now, since it seems like the LED lights have been a big thing the last year or so, do they take less voltage than the normal lights? Are they a little more efficient to use LEDs, or does it really not matter? Or
we use mostly the incandescent, the older style, but part of it has to do with just cost. Right now, the cost on the bigger type of lights, which we use the most of, like you see, they're about the size of your thumb, the kind of the older, bigger lights. Those are incandescent lights, and they use about 7 times more power than the LED, and they cost about 7 times as much right now. That hasn't changed. When that changes, then I think you'll see more. And they give a different type of light. The LED kind of have a different type of light if you've seen them around.
Is it softer or is it?
It depends. It's kind of bluish in the white color. And, but the thing that's nice about LEDs that he brought up is they do use considerably less power. I think it's like 7 times less.
Right.
So you, in some situations, that can make quite a difference in your setup. Where if you put out all your mini lights and you plug them in and they're working, then it rains, and then when it rains, that always increases the resistance on the electricity. So that means that you're going to use more electricity, and that might be enough to turn your breaker off, and then it just doesn't work when there's snow on top of it. And sometimes the LED lights, if you use them because they use less power, you're not going to have that particular problem because you're using less power.
Sure.
I didn't realize that with the rain and snow, making it harder for them to get the power through them. That's
you go out and if you ever, you're probably not going to do it, but we have to do it because we work with lights all the time. If you go out there and it's raining, and if you put your hand on the minis and grab them, the way they make them, they can't make these lights perfectly sealed. They just don't. Rain goes through them, it saturates, it goes through them and back out them. Because if I sealed them and went in there, it'd get trapped. And so the way they make them, the water kind of travels through these mini lights. And so if you went out and grabbed them during the rain, you get like a little bit of shock. You feel a little bit, not a jolt you, but you'll feel like tingling. And that's the electricity and the resistance. And if that's happening, then that means that they're using more power. And then when it quits, that the water will leave and it will dry up and the lights will be back. But if you had less power than going through it, then your electrical system isn't going to be having as much pulling through it and less problems.
Right.
Wow.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the number where folks can reach you at, Clay?
It's 417-881-1141.
And are you putting up lights? I mean, is that something you're doing just pretty much every day? Do you do it on the weekend? Is it Monday through Friday? How does that work?
Well, we started in October, and I've got 3 to 4 crews running right now. And we mostly work Monday through Saturday right now.
Monday through Saturday. Okay.
We don't have the phones open on Saturday, but those are normal business hours that we have our phone. But we have an answering machine.
So that someone can leave a message if they need to.
Message.
Yeah, okay. But you will go out and you are working on Saturdays already. Wow.
Yes.
I would say people probably need to give you a call right away then if they want to get things done. So, and you also do commercial. So if someone has a commercial building, I see a lot of these. Are you the one who puts up these huge Christmas wreaths that are lighted and all that I see on these big buildings? I've always wondered who puts those things up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these big wreaths on way up on these buildings. I'm like, how do they get them up there? Is that something you do
we
for
do
folks?
some.
Or? Wow.
Okay. We don't do all of them, but we do some.
Yeah.
And do some commercial where they have their own maybe ornaments, like a tree or something that hangs on a pole that we put up.
Oh,
for
okay.
them.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. All right. So, anything now? Are they providing that, or are you providing that?
If we provide wreaths up to a certain size, and then if it's great big ones, they're beyond what I provide, then normally the owner will normally have that already.
Okay.
Or if they have like types of ornaments, like maybe you'll see the like those snowflakes that you see in town that the city hangs up. Sometimes commercial places will have those, and they hire us to put them up and take them down.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen those in parking lots and stuff.
Yes,
And I do notice we have them up now going up National Street.
Yes,
I came up
we
through
do.
there just the other night.
Yes, we do. They're
Yep,
already
they're
up.
up.
They're already up. They got them up in time for the Veterans Day parade.
Oh, that's what it was.
I'm not sure where it's going to go. I'm just thinking maybe that's why they're
Yeah.
there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's this weekend, I believe.
Is it?
Saturday, I believe. Yeah.
I just kind of lost track.
And those things they people don't think about that, like to hang something like that. You just don't grab it and hang it up. You have to take it to a shop sometimes, plug it in, check all the lights, check all the sockets to make sure they all work, and then fix them if they don't before you hang it.
Right.
And then you get them all ready, and then you start hanging. And so there's a little more involved.
Sure.
Just
Then
hanging it. And then you got to take it down and store it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hark, do I hear music?
You do. I think that means we have to take a break right here.
Like it does.
I think so.
Yeah, this is Home Repairs and Solutions right here on AM 560 KWTO. We'll be right back.
They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Go to newstalk560.com and register to win 2 tickets to Springfield Little Theater production of It's a Wonderful Life. Registration is open until November 11th, 2012. Visit newstalk560.com for official rules.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. One of 3 men charged in the death of a couple from Willard made his first appearance in Taney County Court. 26-year-old Philip Friend is charged with first-degree murder in the deaths of Russell and Rebecca Porter. The Porters went missing from their home and were later found dead near Pro Tem. A woman whose arrest resulted in the death of a man in Douglas County has been sentenced. Douglas County Sheriff Chris DeGassi shot and killed 41-year-old David Phillips when he came at the sheriff with a weapon as he was trying to arrest 30-year-old Crystal Prock. Prock has been given a 4-year sentence for resisting arrest. That will run concurrently with a 7-year probation violation on a theft charge. And some 16 students were taken to Mercy Hospital after a car-bus collision in East Springfield. The Marshfield school bus smashed into the car at Cedarbrook and Chestnut. No one on the bus was seriously injured. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
Windy and warm for today with times of clouds and sun, the high of 71. Cloudy, breezy, and mild for tonight, low of 58. It'll be cloudy but windy and warm again tomorrow, high of 72 as we start the weekend, low of 57 tomorrow night. Watch out for showers and thunderstorms moving through the area that could be strong at times. Otherwise, it'll be cloudy and turning a little cooler on Sunday, the high 65. I'm AccuWeather's Jason Lord.
Hey, Fred, where you at?
Oh, hi, Eddie. Fred's inside doing the breakfast dishes for me.
Really? How'd you manage that?
I told him I'd take the car and get it serviced. Say, you got a recommendation where to go?
Parts Plus Car Care Center. Good people, good service. I've told Fred, but he never listens.
Well, I'm listening. Just tell me how to get there.
Okay, but don't tell Fred you heard it from me.
Oh, I'll just tell him I heard about him on the radio. Now, about those directions.
For the location nearest you, go to partsplus.com.
Join us from 7 to 9 p.m. Sunday nights on AM 560 KWTO for Armed American Radio. That's Sunday night from 7 to 9 p.m. on AM 560 KWTO.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, you need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.
At 10:32 on AM 560 KWTO, more home repairs and solutions brought to you by Spring Mountain Air with Mark and Mary.
Welcome back. You're back on the second half of Home Repairs and Solutions.
As we always say, good to be back.
It's good to be back. You know,
That's
we have a
right.
little unfinished business from last week, though.
We do.
I think we promised to call her some information.
We did, and I just happened to have it right here in front of me. Can you believe that?
Yes, I knew you would.
Yes, thanks to you, Mary.
That's how I knew you would.
Yeah, I counted on you, and you came through. No, we had a caller that called in last week and was inquiring about the outdoor wood-burning furnaces. I think her son or somebody was thinking about putting one in. And I said I would bring the information that I had because we had some folks that was having us to bid them the construction of a new house. They was wanting to build a new place. And this is one of the things that they wanted was an outdoor furnace in addition to their regular heat source, the regular furnace. And so I searched and searched, and I found a gentleman in Aurora that does the Hardy outdoor wood furnaces. And I have his name and number here, and I'm going to give that out.
Okay.
It's Randall Snyder, and his number is 417-678-2636. And
There you go.
If you like that number and you don't have anything to write on, why, give us a call or whatever, and we can give it to you. And I'll just send this with you, Mary, so you can put it in our file. And
I'll do that. And
but,
we'll have that.
you know, we were talking before we went on the air. A great source for heat.
It is.
But you still have to have your main heat source, you know, which would be your furnace.
You still have to have a central system installed.
You should have, anyhow.
Because you need the ductwork and stuff for that
Right.
to work through, yes.
And, you know, for a younger person, this would be great if you enjoy wood heat, if you enjoy getting out cutting wood for your heat. Why, be great. Of course, you know, you can buy wood. There's people sells wood all over the place. But, you know, as you get up in years, it'd probably be a little more difficult to do. Now, the good thing about these wood furnaces, I think you only have to add wood twice a day, something like that. And they're very efficient on wood usage. And they also provide your hot water, help with your hot water. So it would save you energy costs there. But it's something to think about. I think for the size house that we were having bid, it came out about $9,200, I think, for the largest size. And that was the furnace, the installation, everything. Then you have to have your heating and air guy build a box and everything for the coil. But so you're probably, you know, all said and done, looking at $10,000 if you have a very big house.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, if you like wood heat and some help with the hot water bill, too, why, this would definitely be something worth looking into. So
There you go. There's your answer for our caller.
That's right.
So, hope that helped her out.
I do, too.
All right.
So
Good job, Mr. Mark.
Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. You know, so, in talking about being helped out, our guest this week, I think this is a wonderful thing because so many of us don't like getting up on ladders, don't like untangling lights, would rather have somebody else to do it.
Well, you know,
he can do it.
And people get hurt every year putting lights up.
Sure.
I mean, you hear that people fall off the ladder or they, you know, so it's really not something for, you know, just the average person. If you really don't know what's going on and what you're doing, it's probably not the best thing for you to be monkeying with. So we just had a caller at the half when we were on break there wanting your phone number again. So why don't you give that out again? We'll try and give it out again before the end of the show in case someone missed that.
Okay. It's 881-1141.
Now, you're talking about, we've been talking about you putting lights and stuff on houses and that type of thing. Do you do like complete, I mean, some of these people really go all out. And I love it when people do that. And they have, you know, the deer in the yard, the lighted deer that are moving, and they have all kinds of stuff. Their yard is full, their driveway's lined up with lighted candy canes, all that kind of stuff. Do you do a complete yard decoration if someone wants it like that, where you can hook all that stuff up and everything's going and running and doing? And
we do. We don't have lots of those. I mean, most of the homes we do have 2 or 3 things that we do, but we do have some homes that have lots of different ornaments and different things going on, and it's kind of involved. So yeah, we do several of those. We don't provide the ornaments. We don't provide like the deer and things like that.
Yeah,
The
well, that would be
those.
that would be something that each homeowner that be there to their specific taste as far as
Yeah.
what kind of animals or what kind of. But you know, I've seen, and there's some and there's even some like subdivisions in Springfield that they kind of do the whole block or something. And you can drive through and all that. Do you ever get involved where someone, like maybe a homeowners association, have they ever come to you and said, Clay, we really want to do something in our subdivision, or we want to do something in, what would you do to fix up our whole, block here or something? Have you ever had that happen?
We have maybe 10 or more subdivisions that we decorate the entrances of them with different things that whatever it is that association wants to do to make their subdivision attractive in the entrance with lights, and we do several of those for subdivisions around town.
See, I think that always looks really nice when you're driving around and look at, because I love to drive around and look at the lights, and we do some of that in Branson. I mean, of course you can do that, around Springfield pretty much for free, except for your gas. You can drive around neighborhoods and look, and some of them they advertise, that they've done their neighborhoods or whatever, but I always think that looks so nice when you get like a whole street or a whole block or something, and they do everyone does decorating and they do the entrance. It just looks really nice, I think, and it's just something fun to see. And and I think it would be fun to live in a neighborhood that did that. I've never lived in a neighborhood. I've always lived out, where we had like 3 houses. Or I've never lived in town with a neighborhood, so I've never been able to be a part or do anything like that. And like now we live at the lake, and a lot of the people down there just our summer people. They're gone in the winter, so there's not a lot of people down there. So I really haven't been able to be involved in something like that. But that sounds like that would be really fun to be creative and come up with something and make your whole neighborhood just stand out and look really festive and pretty for the holidays. It makes, it would have to be a happy place to be. You come home and you've been working, and maybe you've had a cranky customer or something went wrong or whatever, and you go home and all these lights are, it just makes you feel good. Kind of makes you feel like a kid again.
Yeah. You know what I always wanted to do? I want to put a hot tub in my front yard decorated and have the Hooters girls out there bouncing around in it when I come home. And I think it would draw a lot of attention to the neighborhood. Yeah. So, hey, it's just my idea,
Everybody has their own idea of what's fun for Christmas, I guess.
I've never asked my wife about that, though. I think she would probably go for that.
Well, Robin, call me. We'll talk later.
Yeah, no doubt. No, don't.
But to each his own. That might be that
true.
would probably draw a lot of traffic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If nothing else, but I don't know. I don't know about that, but
well, they probably draw a lot of traffic. That's for sure. So, or hey, since I'm involved in music, a bluegrass band out front playing a little good old bluegrass Christmas music.
Now, see, I think that would be fun. You could do. There you go. I've got y'all figured out. You can do a stage in your front yard. Have Clay come out, do all kinds of cool lighting for you, Christmas decorations, all that, and you and your band could play like between 6 and 10 every night, and let people come by.
Sure, yeah. That'd be
free concerts every night. They could donate if they wanted to.
There you go. Hey, it's a great idea.
Give you something to do.
Yeah.
Keep you off the streets and out of the bars.
I'll dress my buddy Gene Reasoner up in a Santa Claus outfit and have him sitting out there playing the piano and singing.
And you could be Mrs.
songs.
Claus.
Well, no, I don't think I want to be Mrs. Claus. I'll be an elf.
Okay, that would work too.
Yeah,
that'd work too.
We could do that.
Okay, so. we'll let you guys know if that comes to fruition later, and give you the address.
Give you the address. Oh, no doubt. But Christmas is it's a fun time of year, and I think everybody looks forward to Christmas right now because it lifts their spirits a little bit. Our economy's not been the greatest in the world, and so we look for things to kind of bring joy to us and other people.
Sure.
And what better way than the decorations and take the family out and drive around and look at all the beautiful lights and decorations and so it's a fun thing to do. So call Clay. He can help you provide that joy for everybody.
That's right, and from what I've been told from one of your clients, it's more affordable than maybe most people think. So don't think that it's something that's out of your budget. Give Clay a call. Tell him or I would imagine if someone has a budget, let's say someone says, okay, I want to spend $300 and I want to decorate. What can you do for me? You probably can work within a budget.
Yes.
If someone just has a price, and that way you've got the price out front, you could go ahead and give them a drawing or however it is that you go about doing that and showing them what you could do for them and I would say that, if you want to do that, set yourself aside a little bit of money and say, this is what I want to do, and I want to, and it makes you feel good. It makes your neighbors feel good.
Sure.
It makes people coming to your home for Christmas or the holidays. If you have a party, a lot of times we have a party and have our friends down, and it just puts everybody in a good mood.
That's right.
So, in the wintertime, it's a little dreary. This daylight savings time, I just hate this. I go home
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
dark before I even get dinner started almost. And so, a little extra outdoor lighting is wonderful this time of year.
That's right. And another good thing about it is the fact that how many times have you drove around and you're in April and May and you look over and the house still has all its Christmas lights on it?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to take them down because it's so much trouble to put them back up. Well,
And
you
it's
don't have to
cold
worry
in
about
January.
That. Yeah, it's cold in January. Then February comes and you got something else comes up. So you end up, they stay up all year.
Yeah.
Which is not good for them. So when
No.
you do go plug them in, half of them don't work. But
Sure.
this way, they get taken down, put away. You don't have to worry about it.
What's the if someone takes their lights down, and I don't know if I do it the right way or not, even taking them off your Christmas tree, if you do that, and you're getting ready to put them up, what's the best way to do that? Should you try to not bend them too much, or should you wrap them around like an electrical cord? I mean, what's the best way to store those so that you do the least amount of damage? Because I have that proverbial storage box that is just a disaster, and everything's a mess and tangled up, and it just takes hours to untangle all that stuff. And then I plug them in, and half of them don't work. What's the best way to store that stuff?
There's because we do so many, because we do over 400 homes, we'd pretty much be out of business if we didn't have a way to store it and to make it easy to put it back up, or at least that's what we think. The first one, and the biggest headache I see with customers when I've been in their homes is with mini lights, is the proper way to store them, because if you just put them in the box, you get this big pile, you pull it out, and bulbs are popping out of it, and you got this big stack.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
The easiest way we found with mini lights is you take the strand, when you take the strand down, you lay it on the ground, being careful with it, and then we grab the end of the line, the female end of it, and we just start wrapping around our finger, and then we keep wrapping around in a circle till it becomes this ball. And then we take the end of the male plug and we just tuck it under the wire, and so you have this nice little ball that might have one string or up to 3 strings, and it keeps the wire pulled tight, and so it doesn't get crooked, it's not crinkled, and the next year you just untwist that and unroll it, and it'll still be in the same shape you put it in when you put away.
Wow.
That works
roll
the
them up in a
best.
ball and put them in. Oh,
So
well,
then
that's
you
a good
can
idea.
take all those balls and put them back into a storage container or something. And,
Right.
And then with the extension cords, what we found, because you get a lot of extension cords sometimes, is we just use zip ties, and we'll take extension cord and in our hand and just fold it one over the other, and then take a cheap zip tie and just zip tie it, and then the next year you just clip that zip tie and it pops apart, and it's all stored tight and not tangled. And with the bigger lights, the C9 and C7 that people put on the tops of their homes, because you have to be careful of those. They got bulbs that can break real easy. So you take them down, and if you just stick them in the box, again, they'll be all tangled because they've got clips on them that like to grab each other. And what I found is to very carefully you grab the bulb, and you just go bulb to bulb, and you put the wire in your hand so that you have one bulb on each side, and you keep doing that. Like, say you got 100 lights, you're going to have 50 on one side of your hand, 50 on the other, and you take a zip tie that line in the middle, and then when you undo it the next year, you can cut that line and just walk backwards and undo it, and make it nice and neat, and keep them from getting tangled.
Now, is it a good idea to store them in like one of those plastic totes in the attic, or does it get too hot in the attic? Does the heat bother them, or?
I don't think we haven't noticed the heat bothers
Okay,
them. We
so
keep
that's
them in
okay.
plastic containers,
Okay.
and that works well.
Okay.
As long as you don't like shove them and have to stomp on them.
Right.
Well, yeah. Don't use them. Don't use them as a ladder during the
Ladder,
summer.
yeah.
Stepping on top of them or something. But because I would imagine, that's probably the reason for a lot of the damage is they're not stored properly.
Yeah.
I know that when I store mine, they're not because.
And they put Christmas lights on the box. Outdoor Christmas lights.
There you go, and label the box. There you go. Good
Yeah.
plan.
Yep, that's right. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. If you got a call for us, we'd love to hear from you today. And we'll talk about Christmas lights or whatever you want to talk about.
Have you got your Christmas shopping done?
Is it Christmas Eve yet?
Well, believe it or not, knock on wood, I'm almost done.
Really?
First time I've been done this early in a long time. So I'm
That's
real excited
great.
about that.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm kind of an online shopper. Works out great. I order it, UPS delivers it, Paul puts it in the car, takes it home, puts it in the house, and I wrap it. We're good.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't stand in line and run all over town and find out they're out and
take
a rain check and go back and
I don't either. And I noticed, of course, my gosh, before Halloween they was playing Christmas advertisements on TV.
Yes, they were.
And but I've noticed a lot of places are starting their Black Friday even earlier. I seen where Walmart at 8:00 on Christmas or Thanksgiving Day, they start their sales and stuff. It's like
I'm eating turkey that day. I'm not shopping.
Exactly. I mean, what happened to the days when families got together and they enjoyed their time together? Shopping wasn't
No, shopping wasn't part of that.
No.
Yeah, I saw that too. But we don't participate in that. A lot of people do.
A lot of people do. I'm one that I put it off till I think last year Christmas Eve I was out at the mall. But it's kind of a challenge for me.
Crazy.
I kind of like it. I think it's kind of fun. It's just a challenge thing, And
no, it's a guy thing.
It's a guy thing. Yeah, you're right, Mary. But it just amazes me the people that gets out at these department stores, 3 and 4 in the morning and stand outside in the cold and everything else, waiting to get that bargain. And 9 times out of 10, you can get that bargain later on.
Yeah, you can. Or you can get it online.
Cheaper. Online.
Yeah, I sit in the warmth and comfort of my home or office or whatever and click, 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 and I'm done.
Yeah. Hey, at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm in the warm and comfort of my bed.
Yeah, I don't do that at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
We do have a caller on the line. We have Melissa from Rogersville. Hello, Melissa.
Good morning. Hey, I just tuned in and heard you talking about Christmas lights. Wondering if you all know anything about the LED Christmas lights. On what causes half of the string to go out. I bought a brand new set last year, and after a week, half of them didn't work.
Okay, I think we're going to let Clay answer that for you. You got to answer for that, Clay, because I don't have any idea.
That's a common problem with it's a mini light that you have. The LED, the mini lights are the little bitty lights you're talking about. And the way they circuit it, if one of the bulbs were to come unclipped or if the wire came loose, then one section of the lights doesn't work because the way they've made that type of light.
Okay, very very similar to the old style mini lights.
Just like the old styles, how they've wired it together. It's the same wiring, just a different. One's incandescent, others LED, but it has the same problem with that. Yeah, that's a problem, and there's not an easy solution to that. Sometimes if they're new, you can put them in the box, take them back, get new ones, or you can look at.
I threw the boxes away.
Yeah.
I paid a lot for those suckers too, so I'm going to try to save them if I can.
But sometimes it can be a bulb's missing, and you can find that sometimes. That's the easiest find is if the bulb's missing, and it's going to be in that section where the lights are out.
Do those bulb testers where you clamp it to the string, do those work on LEDs?
I haven't used those. We don't really use those. We just didn't have a lot of luck with them, and we just end up going through the lines one by one, found worked the best for us.
All right. Well, thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa.
Appreciate the call.
See, I knew this was a good time to have you on because I know people have lots of issues with Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just the nature of the beast, I think. So I'm all about having a professional come out and just take care of it. Then you don't have the headache and the problem and the frustration and all that stuff.
That's right.
You have to store them. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Put them up, take them down. They store them. They'll do the design. Or if you have your own design, they can do your own design. If you know what you want already, they can do that for you. And I know that we talked when you were on last time. We talked about you even can do like around windows for people, or you can make certain parts of their house stand out if they want, or that type of thing. So there's some really neat things that you can do with lights in your home to make it really stand out for the holidays and make it look really fun and inviting to people. So I just suggest you give Clay a call.
Oh, yeah.
But don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't call him on Christmas Eve.
I would say you probably won't get him.
You're going to be too late. So go ahead and give him a call. Talk to him. See what he can do for you. He's got some great ideas, some great designs. Like he said, right now they're working Monday through Saturday. Has, what'd you say, 4 crews?
Yes.
4 crews that are out putting up lights for people. So he does a lot. What are some of the subdivisions that you do that might be up now that people could go by and look at?
Well, a lot of them aren't lit yet. We put up the lights,
Oh,
and then
they
the
haven't got 'em
homeowner,
on.
we have it all set up so that on Thanksgiving or right after, a lot of people like to light them up. They can plug them up. It's already done,
Okay.
ready to go.
So just because they're on doesn't mean you have to turn them on right now.
Yeah.
See, to me, if they're up there, I want them on. I'm not very patient. So I would have mine on. If they were up, they'd be on. But, yeah, there you go. You can just go ahead and have them installed and then turn them on when you get ready. And like you said, you can just plug them in, set the timer, and just leave them. And then it just is automatic at that point, which is nice, too.
Yes.
So
that'd be the way to go.
You don't want to go outside at 11:30 at night and try and unplug all your lights and stuff if it's raining and the wind's blowing and the wind chill's 15 degrees. That's just
definitely not.
Yeah. So you don't have to. Get a timer, set it all up, get it all done so they'll all work for you. And then, like you said, if there is a problem, they can call you and you'll come out and take care of the problem as well. So
I keep 1 or 2 guys. I keep 2 guys just working full time once we have the lights working, just doing service calls. Because sometimes it's just a timer is offset, or like she was asking about the mini lights. Sometimes we get a bush, part of it's not working because the mini lights went out. Well, we're the ones that go back out there and fix it when there's snow on the ground, ice on the ground.
Sure.
Yeah. Any big trend this year that you're seeing? Anything new or something that people are doing, or is it just pretty much?
No, I haven't seen a big trend. Like the LEDs were big, several years ago, and it seems like that's kind of over. If people like them, they use them. If they don't, they don't. You had icicle lights a while back.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I remember
those.
the icicle
yeah,
lights.
Yeah, I had them. Yeah.
Yeah, they had lots of problems. But,
Oh, those were a pain. We
yeah.
had those. Yeah, those were a pain.
We don't do those anymore. They're just because they're mini lights that you're hanging on the house, and the worst kind because they get banged around by the wind. So everything that can happen to a mini light happens to those. So
Yeah. I don't. And I don't see a lot of people using those anymore.
No, I don't either.
That's probably why.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
because they
and
just.
I guess you can still buy them. I'm pretty
you can
sure.
buy 'em.
But,
I would imagine. Sure.
High maintenance.
Yeah.
High maintenance.
I know I've had several strand of them that went in the trash. So
we've got dumpsters full.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So, there's that music again.
We're out of time.
What are you doing this weekend?
Well, I don't have any plans. Paul is bird hunting in Kansas, so I'm just going to do whatever I want to.
There you go.
So I don't have any plans.
Yeah. So
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're having our big jam session, monthly jam tonight out at the River Bluff Fellowship just south of Springfield on Evans Road. Come out and play a little music with us. Even if you don't play, just come out and listen. It's
what
for
time
anybody
is that?
who wants to. We start about 7 o'clock.
Okay, 7 o'clock.
So, yeah, come out and jam with us. And if you're a motorcycle rider, tomorrow might be the day that you want to get the bike out and do a little riding. And it's all kinds of fun stuff. So
there you go.
Yeah. And how can we get a hold of you one more time, Clay?
881-1141.
So there you go.
See you next week.
That's right. This is Home Repairs and Solutions, heard every Friday morning right here on AM 560 KWTO.